So the idea for this video originally came about when I'd previously seen that the new Pixar movie Hoppers wasn't getting a lot of buzz online, so I assumed people weren't going to see it like a lot of Pixar originals like Onward and Elliot the past few years. But then I found out the opening weekend projections were actually a lot higher than I thought they'd be, certainly higher than Elio and Elemental. But it still got me thinking, man, Disney's had a fair share of bombs over the near century they've been putting out movies. Granted, some of them are well deserved, like John Carter, Tron Ares, and the Nutcracker movie nobody remembers. But for every Disney bomb that slowly got forgotten, there's undoubtedly one that people look back fondly on upon retrospect, to the point of beginning a cult following after the fact. So that's why I'm here to go over the Disney movies that people didn't initially see but are still good movies. After all, good movies bomb all the time, and bad movies succeed all the time. Some of them are well regarded as all-time classics, while others have a loyal fan base. But before I get to the list, a couple ground rules. Number 1. No movies that were affected by the COVID pandemic. So if you're expecting the likes of Soul, Encanto, and Turning Red, expect disappointment. And number 2, I'm only discussing full-blown Disney movies, so no Touchstone, no Miramax, no Lucasfilm, and no 20th Century Studios. So like, if it has the Disney logo on the poster, it's fair game. So without further ado, let's go over the top 10 best Disney box office bombs.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, we know!
This is the first of several movies on this list where you shouldn't be fooled by the box office listed on the Wikipedia page, as that counts for subsequent re-releases. You see, Sleeping Beauty initially flopped when it first came out back in 1959, garnering mixed reviews that praised its videos but negatively compared it to the previous films. Of course, nowadays it's considered one of Disney's most ambitious classics, as it is one of the first movies to showcase its stunning visuals in a wide format. While the romance between Prince Philip and the titular princess is nothing special, what really steals the show are the side characters. The three fairy godparents who try to protect Aurora are a ton of fun to see showcase their magic off each other, but it's a devious villain Maleficent who makes her mark. From her iconic look, to Ellen Audley's performance, up to the climax where she turns into a dragon to try and stop our hero, she's proven to make such an impact as a star in 2 mediocre Wicked Whip-Offs.
Nice job, Kermit. Nice job, Kermit. Nice job, Kermit.
It's no secret that Disney just doesn't know how to use the Muppets half the time. I mean, there was that Opus-S ABC series that went nowhere, the Electric Mayhem spin-off that went nowhere, Muppets Now that went nowhere, and more recently they closed down their long-running 4D attraction at Disney World. One can only see how the new Muppets show special turns out, but I think their good luck charm truly started to fade when the most recent theatrical outing, Muppets Most Wanted, flopped at the box office in favor of Divergent, which in of itself is a can of worms. Which is sad because I feel like this one holds a candle to the previous Muppets from 2011. It retains the comedic energy from both the Muppets themselves and the guest stars in Ricky Gervais, Jai Perrell, and Tina Fey. It's the premise of them going on a world tour, not knowing that their manager is pulling a thievery spree under their noses, has a plethora of comedic potential, which it fully commits to with both visual gags and verbal gags to get a laugh out of me every time. Probably the scene stealers are Sam Diego and Ty Burrell, who team up to try to investigate the whole crime spree. It's quite a shame that this ended Disney's line of Muppet movies, including The Muppet Christmas Carol and the Treasure Island adaptation. I promise this isn't a segue to the next one.
This is a bomb! I didn't ask you for a bomb, Billy.
So remember when I said that what I said wasn't a segue to this next one?
I lied.
Well, Star Wars, as a decade-long passion project for Lon Clements and John Musker, turned out to be so ambitious for its medium that it collapsed financially when it was finally released in November 2002. But much like another ambitious animated adventure that bombed around that time, this one slowly garnered a cult following that reigns supreme to its day. And watching it, it's not hard to see why. The core of Robert Louis Stevenson's novel is faithfully adapted within both its themes of self-discovery at a young age and the main relationship between Jim Hawkins and John Silver. But what really makes it worth seeing is the world building. The mixture between 2D and 3D animation lends itself to a ton of creativity in the intergalactic world and characters. No two planets or alien creatures are alike. It has a sense of adventure that will delight both kids and adults. Really, all that's missing is that distinct Bulgarian lack of sense of direction or sense whatsoever.
So, how's it work again?
Rocket power!
Let's talk about the Joe Johnston World War II superhero movie. The other one. There you go. The Rocketeer is like a feature-length 40 serial in the 90s, as this ordinary guy comes across this rocket pad and uses it to become a superhero when it attracts the attention of the then-rising Nazi regime. While it doesn't quite change the game like the Indiana Jones films it was trying to emulate, the solid production values, thrilling action, and excellent cast make for a fun little crowd pleaser. Do seek this out if you haven't already.
It'll grind your bones for its bread.
Well, actually, that would be a giant.
Man, I needed something to cleanse my palate after whatever Netflix put out last year. The BFG, based off the Roald Dahl classic, has been in development hell since the 90s until Steven Spielberg finally brought it to life in 2016. Only to come out at the wrong time, as Finding Dory was still dominating the box office around that time. Which is sad because I felt the charm of Dahl and Spielberg really meshed together well in this film. It's very well acted from the likes of Mark Rylance and Ruby Barnhill, and the visuals are state-of-the-art from the perspective between the humans and the giants to them exploring the dreamland, which alone is worth the price of admission. Sure, it has its weird moments like the Frobskull gag being melted one too many times and the climax being really rushed, which even the 80s animated film did better, but it's still a delight for both kids and adults alike. Unlike some certain adaptations.
Coming to a theater near you. Me, moves to Australia.
If there is any movie on this list that went through the biggest mountain of popularity, it's The Rescuers Down Under. Since its release, it's gone from being widely dismissed by the masses to seen as an underrated gem to being widely dismissed by the masses. And it's widely considered the black sheep of the Disney Renaissance. Which is a shame because clearly Pocahontas deserves to be the black sheep of the Disney Renaissance. It takes an original film that was cute but unnoteworthy and turns it into a fun adventure that ups everything. It ups the action, it ups the villain, it ups the relationship between Bernard and Bianca, and it's just as influential as Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin in terms of incorporating early CGI in its bigger set pieces. It's arguably the Ouija origin of evil of animated sequels. And if you really think about it, it really was impactful in its own way. I mean, where else do you think Frozen 2 stole Kristoff's subplot from?
You're mighty in Gotham, Batman, but in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter reigns supreme.
Here's a movie that initially bombed so hard it didn't even get a theatrical re-release for decades and was instead relegated to a cut-down television airing. Apparently back then it got negative reviews from Lewis Carroll fans and movie fans in general. But much like Sleeping Beauty, they formed up to it as one of the better films of the Silver Age, which I agree is one of Disney's better films from when Walt was still alive. Seeing Alice interact with colorful and memorable characters such as the Cheshire Cat, Mad Hatter, and Caterpillar is a joy to watch, leading to a ton of memorable moments such as outgoing the White Barrett's house, the croquet match, and the courtroom scene with the Red Queen. It's 75 minutes of colorful madness that not even Tim Burton could have tried to replicate.
You take the blame for the weather if you could. Silly old duck.
Hey, remember when Disney said they were bringing 2D animation back with The Princess and the Frog? Only for this next one to flop so hard they did a complete 180 on that decision until now they're making nothing but CG movies now? Shouldn't have opened up against the last Harry Potter movie, guys. But seriously though, this really captures the charm of the Winnie the Pooh franchise with both a simple storytelling and lovable characters you come to love from the previous films, TV shows, etc. And at just barely an hour, it doesn't overstay its welcome. And it makes me eager to see more of this franchise. I mean, anything can be better than that.
We have a three-way tie.
Man, World War II has been really hard on other Disney movies. Because America refused to show its movies to certain territories overseas around that time, that means that 3 movies failed to achieve the same massive success that Snow White had before. Those 3 movies being Pinocchio, Fantasia, and Bambi. Of course, thanks to subsequent re-releases in home video, they slowly became regarded as not only Disney classics, but also among some of the greatest movies ever made, and rightfully so. Both Pinocchio and Bambi showcased their respective protagonists coming of age and interacting with such beloved characters as Jiminy Cricket, Honest John, Thumper, Flower, while also going through several obstacles along the way, such as Pinocchio escaping Pleasure Island and Bambi losing his mom. And as for Fantasia, that movie revolutionized animation, visual storytelling, and sound by saying various classical music to various animated shorts, the most famous being The Sorcerer's Apprentice and The Night of Bald Mountain. All 3 of these movies were revolutionary and timeless back then, and I'm sure they'll be revolutionary and timeless another 80 years from now. And even then, there is another.
I win.
I know what some of y'all are thinking. What could possibly top 3 of the supposed greatest movies of all time? Well, as great as they are, I just like The Emperor's New Groove just a little bit more. The movies that start production as a serious musical, but then a disastrous test screen led everyone to just do a last-minute overhaul, turned into a comedic masterpiece. Every character is iconic, every scene is memorable, almost every line I can quote in an instant, the story's a ton of fun, the music's great, it's perfectly animated, it's a cult classic for a reason, and I love every single frame of it. It's not just the best Disney bomb, but also one of my favorite Disney movies, period. Though I'm genuinely curious what could have happened if they actually stuck with the Kingdom of the Sun storyline. In fact, now I'm thinking about it, it's only a matter of time before Disney decides to give this a live-action treatment. And you know what would be really cool? If they actually made this live-action remake, but combined the stories and songs of Kingdom of the Sun with the witty rhyme and characters of The Emperor's New Groove. Oh yeah, it's all coming together.